Hey guys, welcome to the Gotham Show. We are here live at the Gotham
Galaxy Comics.
Galaxy
Fifth
Comics.
Avenue.
Yeah, I was gonna say Gotham. I don't know what. You know what it is? I was talking about our old boss. I was talking about our other boss.
Yes, at the because we Gotham Social, so
Yeah.
we do that, and on top of that, we're also with one of the Gotham Geek Girl. So you have it right.
So it's not that far off. I just want to welcome you to the show and everything, and say thank you for being here. We are here live at the Galaxy Comics on Fifth Avenue, 63rd, 6823 Fifth Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. And just for you folks out there, please understand we are in the COVID. The whole C virus thing is going down. One of my close friends actually, one of our close friends actually started a GoFundMe for the store. He was actually on Fox News and everything, Hawaii. So please help support your local comic books. The link for the GoFundMe
will be at the bottom of the video in the description box. So please click, anything counts, whether it be a quarter, a penny, to $1. Every little bit helps.
And even if you come in to buy a comic book, say hello to Jonathan or at least the cat, you know. So you started off. You're gonna talk first.
No. So what should we start off with? So first off, please introduce yourself, so that way our lovely viewers will know exactly who you are. So again, this is Gotham City. I'm all over today. But yeah, she will.
Hey guys, Gotham Geek Girl here. From Brooklyn, New York, born and raised. I am a huge Batman fan, big DC fan, Marvel fan. I like to also focus on indie comics and promote those as well. It's a little weird without conventions, but we're trying to do
the best
more things like this, and just keep the geek community alive.
We try our best because that's the whole point of the show,
yes,
to promote geek, not just the geek culture, the nerd culture, but actually brotherhood, the unity.
Because we were really big on going to cons, and when COVID hit, like last year I didn't do the show when I went to Con, so I went all the way to Texas to be a huge Dragon Ball Z fan. So this year we didn't know about what was going on with COVID, so we had everything lined up for cons for us to go to, and COVID just happened. So that's one of our biggest things, and we just had to adapt, and we did a whole bunch of other things. So, but the biggest thing we miss is
the whole culture and everything. Actually going out to talk to people, seeing people face to face.
Zoom meetings are fun, but it's not the same. It's not the same.
And like this virtual con now, that's another thing that I'm kind of
Like I know we talked about it last episode. New York Comic Con is doing that actually, the whole virtual con, and I was like, people were highly upset. They were like, why is, I was like, if San Diego didn't happen, I was like, you guys really think New York Comic Con was gonna happen?
No,
I was like, especially the way New York is right now.
I don't even take the train. I'm not going to Javits.
I haven't, to be honest, the first time I took the train was like a week ago, and the last time before that, like prior to COVID, I took the train, like, I never forget, it was March 3rd. The train was, during rush hour, the train was completely empty. There was like, no, I was like, I could dig it, but at the same time, I was like, no, this isn't New York.
Yeah, it's weird. I took it once, and I was like,
zombie apocalypse type. Exactly. I was like, no, not for me.
Well, so talking about the whole convention, and you're a big DC person. What made you become like the Gotham Geek Girl, like so heavily into the DC world and the DC universe?
Well, I've always been into comics. Like, I'm an art student. I went to FIT. I interned at Marvel. And I've always been involved in the comic community. I've been to like every New York Comic Con. And I built a lot of relationships throughout like my, working, interning, friends, and just meeting people in artist styles. As we said, like this community is so big on like meeting people. So every convention, I spent most of my time in Artist Alley, building friendships.
That's like,
and then a lot of my friends also from FIT, we went to Drink and Draw, which was held by Hari Roundoff. He's like a big artist. And it was really cool just doing things like that in the community and like working with each other, meeting people. And I decided to start my own site. So about maybe 4 years ago. Maybe 4 or 5 years ago now that I started my site and just started interviewing people.
Because you actually start blowing up a little bit more as of lately, well, not just lately, but you grew up a lot, like from when we first met. And what was that, like 2 years ago?
Maybe, yeah. I also, my first San Diego Comic Con, maybe 6 years ago, I started going. I met some mutual friends out there because I worked the table, and I met people that also worked the table that had a website, Geek HQ. So that's a website that I also write for, and I've learned so much like from them. So just networking in the community, and they help me so much.
That's what one thing we want to do. We want to bring everybody together, even though we have our other brothers, our that's a tongue twister. Our other brother, like Sean from Utopia, he's part of another YouTube channel, and then we have another brother named Ryan, who's part of Go Builders.
And then we have cousins out in Philly.
Yeah, so we have
Family.
yeah,
Yes.
we have like other YouTubers that we consider our family, like no matter what. But the main point of the show is to bring in like people like you, because we want to talk about. We don't want to talk about ourselves. We want to talk about your show and why you. You understand? Like you, what nationality are you?
I'm a mutt, but I'm Puerto Rican, Cuban, Nicaraguan, and like a little French.
Okay. So you know Gorda Flaca?
Skinny?
Yeah. No, the show that's on.
No.
Okay. Well, we tried to be like that. So we tried to be like a talk show for the different.
Yeah.
That's what the point of the show.
But we had a little bit of deterrence, and we actually, it helped us out in the long run as well, because like again, we do with a lot. And it helped us branch out, but the main thing we always love to focus on is the geek community. It was what started us.
So what made you start getting into, because I overheard you talking to Jonathan, what made you start getting into the whole cosplay community, the cosplay side of it?
Yeah. I've been cosplaying maybe like 10 years, but I didn't call myself a cosplayer maybe till like the last 2. Back in the day, like early Comic-Con days, cosplay wasn't a major part of it, and I never felt good enough to do it. Like, I built my own costumes for like Halloween. Like I did like Harley Quinn, Arkham Asylum. I did like a Katana and an Emma Frost, but they're like absolutely terrible. Like I'm talking like pre-Instagram iPhone days. So like I have one picture. Yeah, so they're absolutely horrible. Like, but over the years I've gotten a little more comfortable, and then like finally was like, oh, this is a lot of fun, and started doing it more. Started trying to make my own like little things here and there. One of my favorites is probably my Celine from Underworld.
That was good.
Yeah, I worked really hard on her, making the corset and stuff.
That was actually going to be my next question. Who was your favorite so far? That was pretty dope.
Thank you.
Everything you do is, you don't buy pieces, everything you create.
No, it depends.
Okay.
It depends. Like some, I'll do like I just started crafting.
Right.
So now I'm starting to learn how to use like Avofoam and like the heat gun and all that. So now I'm starting to do that one.
So you're like the opposite of me, because I do the special effects. I'll do the makeup, I'll do the special effects. Yes. Like he'll tell you
Networking.
Like he already knows, because I think the last con that I actually put special effects, it was on Anime NYC.
Yeah.
So I had horns and I had my sclera lenses, and I was walking around like, it was an old school anime. It was what she was called, Demon King Lilith or something like that. Really old school, and I was just like with a white wig and everything. And he was just like, I never forget. He waited in the car for like 45 minutes. He's like, "Are you done yet?" I was like, "My horns are setting." And he was just like. By the time I went downstairs, he was just like, "Are you done yet?" I was like,
It takes a while.
Yeah. I was like, "You came here early." I was like, I was not expecting it.
I normally, when it comes down to conventions, I normally do early. I'm not there at 5 o'clock in the
Yeah.
morning. That's me. So, but I also do cosplay also. She's going to help me work on my Mojo. I'm more of a Marvel fan. Even though we talk a lot about DC, I'm more of a Marvel fan. And one of my favorite characters is mostly from XMen, like from Apocalypse, Juggernaut, Sentinels, and one of the characters that nobody ever really speaks about is Mojo. You know who I'm talking about?
I feel like I do, but
Fat guy with like spider legs, all on TV. Yeah, I am looking for a Spiral. I can scream out to you, Spiral! But yeah, so I'm doing that out of a wheelchair. So I'm actually gonna build everything around the wheelchair with other foam and PVC piping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just doing his makeup for a photo shoot. I was like, I got you with the bowl.
The last video I posted up, the one I posted up on Instagram, you see me sitting on a wheelchair because I ripped the front wheels off the wheelchair and I put the hoverboard.
Oh wow.
So, and I figured out how to make the arms go down to make it look like he's walking.
See if they'll let you bring it in.
Yeah, I know. I'm wondering how I'm gonna go up the stairs with that though. That's
the elevators in the wheelchair accessible.
Yeah, you can't go to no con that's like stair walking.
Well, the original idea was supposed to. So the original idea for the wheelchairs, because I went out and bought 3 wheelchairs. We were supposed to build capsules for Capsule Force.
I'm a huge Dragon Ball Z fan, so he was.
So there was our other boy Rocky. He's Prince Vegeta, and we went to a convention and they were like, he's here to me though, and they're like, oh, you guys look like Vegeta and Nappa. Why don't you guys cosplay as that? I was like, dope. And I was like, all right, I can do that. And I was actually gonna build a whole capsule around us and actually have us come out like.
That'd be sick.
I had to do his like bowl cap. He did everything. I was like experimenting with the bowl cap on him. He was like, I'm bold now, like this.
Yeah, but that was like before I cut my hair for the cancer thing though. So I had my hair down to here. That's why it's like short now.
Also pre-COVID, like we all made plans.
Where to change
Everything. Like I was looking forward to like so many cons to go to. I think the last one we did was it was a small con called PowCon. That was like that was the last con we actually did. And
yeah, my last was Katsu. So I'm like, thank God I went because I almost didn't go.
We were going to go, but I think it was a conflict of our schedules at the time, and it was like we didn't get to go.
No, that was when I think that's when Lee moved.
That was what I was saying.
Yeah, so our other co-host, if you see him, she has the thing with Voltron. So she moved at that time, so we can go to
KatsuCon. So it was like conflict. Everybody was just like,
she was like, I need you to drive. So I drove down to North Carolina. Yeah.
So, since we talked about Marvel and the whole reason, because I'm a Gotham City siren as the go-go dancer, you're a Gotham City chick, so it's a big elephant in the room after the trailers have been released. The whole Patterson being Batman. Like, me personally, he's like, everybody, I feel like everyone has this hatred with him because of Twilight and stuff. I was like, if you really watch him in his indie movies, he's actually a really good actor and stuff. So I was like, but I'm not gonna lie, when I heard it was gonna be him, I was like, out of all people,
I talked the most crap.
I was like, I didn't talk crap.
I was the first one to be like, nah.
He was like, get out. I was like, Ben Affleck, and you go to this.
I was like me personally, I didn't want Ben Affleck to play. Batman, I was a huge advocate. I was signing a petition for it. I don't know if anybody knows who he is. His name is Scott Adkins. He's like an Undisputed and stuff like that. He was actually in the last XMen movie. He was the Marine captain. I wanted him to play Batman so bad, but because he's like, he does his own stunts, he could do his CQC fighting. He looks like a Bruce Wayne. So I was like, I wanted him to do it. But then I was like, okay, I'll give Ben Affleck a chance. And then I was like, because I have this whole thing with Ben Affleck, I was like, you play Daredevil, you fuck that up. I was like, don't fuck up Batman for me. I was like, you can't fuck up both of my favorite, I can't mess up both of my favorite characters. So I was like, I'll be nice. And I was like, and then when I heard Patterson, I was like, huge. I was like,
but
I don't
Affleck,
even want to
I mean,
watch DC.
I was one of the first people. When Affleck came on, I was like, oh my God. And I was just like, I'm signing a petition. No. The same thing with Patterson. He came on, I was just like, no.
That trailer changed everybody.
Oh my God, yeah, I watched it like 3 times
I was like, everybody.
And I was like, vengeance.
I just hope, my hope for this, my hope for Patterson is that this breaks the Twilight shadow.
I mean, I already know he was a great actor.
Yes,
I just didn't see him as Bruce Wayne.
That's what I'm saying. And again, it's the stigma with the Twilight. A lot of guys were talking crap about Patterson because I made a joke about it. I was like, don't get mad at him because your ex-girlfriend when y'all were growing up had the only crush on Edward. I was like, give him a chance. I was like, watch his indie movies. You'd be like, he's pretty dope. And I was like, yeah, he was in like Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I was like, so.
I think
I was like, he was in Harry Potter.
He did, yeah. And unfortunately, he died by Voldemort. Spoiler alert,
If they haven't seen Harry Potter yet, then
yeah.
it's too late already. In 2020.
But yeah, so as I said, I really, really, really do hope that he does do well.
I think
As you said too, I've watched the trailer at least like 3-4 times because I want to see every detail in the background. I think his costume looks dope.
I like the whole thing. His bat suit.
Yeah, I think
the
they're going more
guns.
for the Arkham Knight looking bat suit, which is actually one of my favorite ones right now. The car is still interesting.
That's because it's like year 2, so it's still early on.
So the car, if I'm not mistaken, is based off of the Dodge Challenger, right?
I believe so.
It is,
something
right?
like that.
Because when I looked at it,
It looks dope. I mean, like there's certain things that look amazing, but there's certain like it's just I'm like I'm wishing and praying and hoping like he does well. I really want him to do well.
What's his face? Colin Farrell's in it as a penguin.
Yeah, I didn't even recognize him.
Neither did I. I was like, he looks like this other actor, and I was like, you could have paid this other actor to play him instead of Colin Farrell to look like this guy. And Zoe Kravitz, I keep hearing, is supposed to be Celine, which I'm looking forward to that. Who else is it?
And the guy playing Riddler.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. So they're going with like a really dark theme, and I mentioned on a podcast I did earlier that I'm a big Telltale Games fan.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like this Riddler is gonna be very dark like that.
Compared to the
And it's
Riddler.
about time. It's about time we get dark like that.
The only Riddler that I think everybody remembers is Harry's Riddler, and that was like the only one in the films, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Jim Carrey was great, but it's different.
It was a
worked for that
comedic
time. Yeah.
Because he was trying to do the Frank from the '60s Batman, you know, from Adam West.
Yeah,
Like,
it was.
you know, like that, you know, yeah, like that one. But it just didn't fit well with the whole rubber-faced Tommy Lee Jones Two-Face, and that movie was trash.
I'm sorry, I'm just like Snyder Cut. Like I'm just.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like I'm like we saw.
Those are the two biggest things for me.
We saw the Justice League movie. I kind of felt like I didn't see it because I heard so much crap about it, so I finally saw it once. Like we all saw it one night. It was my boyfriend, him, and we were just chilling, and we decided he was like, "Yo, watch the Justice League movie," and I was like, "I'll give it a chance." I was like, "I heard so much horrible things about it. I'll give it a chance." I fell asleep. He watched the whole thing, and I was like, I was waking up in bits and pieces because a lot of it like wasn't making sense to me. I was like, I felt like they rushed it to catch up with Marvel and stuff like that. So I was like, and then like when I found out about like the whole reason why he wasn't directing it the way he was, and I was like, I can understand it. And now seeing that cut, I was like, they should have waited. I was like, you guys should have waited. You should have not been trying to.
Like as you said, and I've said this time and time again with previous shows, Marvel has set a pavement to lead up to the way that they did.
Yeah, they were formula.
Right. DC is like trying to play catch up. Don't get me wrong, they have the ability, they just don't have the time. And switching out characters or revamping characters all the time or switching out time frames, you're never gonna catch up. You're always gonna be like a reboot of this, like the Fantastic Four. It's always a reboot.
Who has Fantastic Four rights now? Is it Marvel has it?
It's back to Marvel. I think it's kind of like Spider-Man. Like Sony is part of it, but Marvel has rights. So
the only one that's fully outside of Sony and everything is the Hulk. He's owned by Universal.
Right, you were telling me that. And
so he's that's why they can't have a full Hulk movie.
Yeah, with Ruffalo.
Yeah.
So because now Marvel has rights to XMen. So hopefully we can get a good XMen.
And I keep hearing about it being introduced in Deadpool 3, like how what's his face Reynolds is like he's teasing it. He's like how he's gonna kill off that whole whatever happened with X-Men. He's like, yeah, there's gonna be like a screen in his dead. I was like,
so he's gonna do like what he did to the original Deadpool.
Yeah, it's like kill him off. Like this didn't happen, so like I'm down with it. I'm like I want a great X-Men movie. I really.
But Jean Grey in the X-Men movie looked old. Like she looked like she was in her 50s, and like she's like playing around with like 20-year-olds.
No, she was amazing. What's her name? Padme.
I never liked her.
I loved her.
Nope.
The first, I'd say X2 is probably the best X-Men movie.
Yes.
Yes.
X2 is probably the best X-Men.
Yes.
And then the third one was just trash.
Yeah.
And then First Class was good.
First Class was amazing.
Yeah,
no,
I like
First Class I'll give them.
I like First Class. And then they lost me again.
Yeah. Then
I didn't even watch, what was it, Apocalypse?
I watched Apocalypse.
I couldn't.
I watched Apocalypse because that's
Phoenix,
my boy.
I couldn't.
Phoenix, like the dark. Yeah,
I
couldn't.
No, that doesn't exist in our universe.
Yeah,
no.
I couldn't do it.
Apocalypse I had to watch because that's my boy. That's my favorite character the whole time of X-Men. Yes, they did.
Like, who he looked like the guy in the Power Rangers movie?
Yeah, he looked like
Ooze. I was like,
when
I
I first
saw that, I
released,
was like,
no.
no. I was like, what are y'all doing?
Stereo. No.
Like, there was some movie that I sat there, I was like, I will wait till you come out on TV. I was like, I'm not gonna
that was to come out on VHS, not even on DVD.
I was like, I'm not gonna wait.
What lost it for me too with that was when they released, I think it was like a billboard, and he was choking out Mystique.
Yes.
And people complained about it, and I was like, excuse the language, what the?
That's how I was.
I was like, this is stupid.
We're open
like,
that way. You can actually.
Okay.
You can,
I was like, they're superheroes. Like, this is ridiculous. Like,
personally,
come on.
I don't like how they made Mystique after
Rebecca Rain. Yeah.
Did Mystique, and I was like, and they did that. I was like, are you gonna play her? I was like, no, you can't do that to her. I was like,
you have to give her props in the hotel room though. When she had that dude by the throat. Jennifer Lawrence. When she whooped him, the general. Like, who was it?
I was like, first of all,
which movie is this?
I think it was.
Because I didn't watch the new one.
No,
Rebecca Rain did not do a backward slide on her ass to get to that elevator for them to do her like that.
I don't remember.
Yeah, like she was getting the formula for Trask and getting the passwords. And she whooped this dude in the hotel room and had him like right there. I was like,
I did not.
alright.
I was like, you need to have Rebecca. Like,
I'll give you that one. I'll be like,
I didn't like the makeup for Mystique. I didn't like anything. I was like, and this is more advanced, like special effects makeup. This is more advanced compared to what they had Mystique in the beginning of the 2000s. I was like, and you had her looking like that, to have her looking like this in 2018, 2019, I was like, nah, not happening, bro. I was like, don't disrespect her like that.
so guys, as you see people in the background, we are actually live in Galaxy Comics. So if you hear noise or anything, just
support your local shops.
Yes.
Yeah.
What else was it?
So
I don't think DC movies.
Wonder Woman.
One
Cheetah.
for sure.
Yes, the one.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, ooh, okay. Storm?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
When I saw that 1984, I was like, okay, because I like it, but then like when they introduced the guy that she was with in the first one, I was like kind of lost. So I was like, but I am looking forward. I did like how they made Cheetah.
Yeah, Kristen Wiig.
Cheetah was bad. Like I was like,
I was surprised.
yeah, I was
I was
like,
like, okay, DC, I see you. I was like, I see what you're doing.
that was actually the next question.
They came strong. I feel like they're really like coming
Because like
hard.
Marvel has been lollygagging with a lot of their stuff. I do know COVID stopped with a lot of the production and filming, and they just started picking up. But I was like, DC is like, nah, we're coming in strong. I was like, you guys, we're gonna be a little bit ahead because like I'm still waiting. Like we're still in the air with the whole Wanda and Vision.
Yeah.
Then the Loki, and then like the the Captain Falcon and Winter Soldier. So I'm like, okay, I was like, because I do know this whole WandaVision is going to introduce like the whole, like I have a feeling like that's going to introduce House of M, and that's how they're going to bring the XMen and everything into the Marvel universe, hopefully, and then like the whole supernatural Avengers with Doctor Strange leading it with this new movie. So I'm looking forward and hoping that they'll have Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, and what's his face? I can't believe I'm drawing a blank. Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, Blade, a whole revamp
And
with
he
Blade.
still wants to do it. You do know that.
Who?
Wesley Snipes, he still wants to do it.
I
But
mean,
like, I don't think.
Nah, I'm ready for Cottonmouth. What's his name?
Yo, I'm down with
I
that.
love it.
Yeah.
The only
I
one
have a
I'm not
video of
looking.
me when I was in San Diego Comic-Con when they announced it. You hear me screaming, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Only
Like,
one
Blade
I'm
is
trying
like my favorite movie. So I'm
only
like,
one I'm looking iffy on is this who Jared Leto's playing. I am not with it. I was like,
Morbius?
Yes,
Morbius.
I don't.
I love
By the
it.
way, the last video, you messed up horribly on the name constantly.
What was I saying?
Morpheus.
We were just talking about the whole. We were talking about.
Morbius.
We were talking about the
You
Matrix.
watched the entire video? You missed one.
It's hilarious.
I was like, because we were talking about.
Nah, I think it's gonna be good.
I don't know. I was like,
Oh, he worries me. He's another one that worries me a lot.
I love him. I have faith.
I didn't like him in Suicide. I saw the there's another one going back to
Suicide
Suicide
Squad.
Squad.
What's your thoughts on the Suicide Squad, the new movie?
I'm pretty excited. It seems like they're bringing in a lot of like C-list characters, but it looks like it's gonna be like crazy fun. Like
Yeah,
I don't take it seriously. Suicide Squad.
The first one was very short. Like, it was very short, simple, straight to the bait.
They wrote the script in like I think it was like 6 weeks or something. They rushed it.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it.
I didn't hate it, but I was just like,
They really they didn't give Leto enough time. That was one of my complaints. I think they should have based it on Assault on Arkham.
Yes.
That would have gave him the freaking like perfect setup to introduce Joker, to introduce Batman.
Yeah.
Like it would have tied like together
But
better.
that's what you were hoping for, and it was like, what are you doing?
that's why I kind of hate that. Was because I was like, why are
They
you
didn't give
here?
him enough.
But like you said, it didn't like tie anything in it. So I was like, I understand Harley's backstory, but I was like, why are you here? I was like, you really can't be here, right? I was like, it makes no sense for you to be here. That's how I felt with him being there. So I was like, and Enchantress, I was just more or less like,
I did not like her.
I didn't need. I was like, why are you gonna have Enchantress here? I was like, you have Enchantress here. I was like, you have an actress, but her whole, it's just her face of her whole body.
Yeah,
CGI.
like
I
the
was like,
CGI was bad.
yes,
She's
very
not a
bad.
good actress.
Boy, come here for a second. So I just want to say this is the guy who saved the saved the store, the GoFundMe. So this handsome young gentleman, you see him all bashful and shit. Like, I love that. Hey guys, so thank you for everything today. We want to thank Nadya, the Gotham Geek Girl, for being on our show at Galaxy Comics.
Episode 1 on 68th. I always say 86 for some strange reason, but it's
Yeah,
on 60.
but we just want to say thank you to everyone. We're going to show up the pictures and everything. She was a great guest, and I hope to have her on again. We hope to do that photo shoot with her because she's dressing up as Jill.
Yes. Go and obviously I'm wearing my Resident Evil, but go check her Instagram out. It's Gotham Geek Girl. She just did an awesome photo shoot of her being Harley.
Yes, she did a great job with her hammer, which that's what she was working on that day. Thank you guys.
And we'll
Thank
see
you, Geek Girl.
Yes, and we'll see you next episode.
Wakanda forever.
Yes. That was